Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. I don't know if I've ever talked about this or not in like a long form vlog. This is Nagi Luna. She's one of our female pieds. It's a pretty big female. And right now, she's not in her normal enclosure. This enclosure here is pretty big. For a ball python, I'd say it's really big. Can't really see through the glass you can see okay. We purposefully do not have a permanent resident of this enclosure because I like to use it to give some of our other animals some exercise time. I actually got this idea from Vic Herrick. He's a Eastern Indigo breeder that we've gotten some snakes from over the years. And he does this on a large scale for all his adult breeder indigos. And in his opinion, it has a dramatic effect on their health. And he rarely, if ever, in fact, he might have said he never has had a female get egg bound. And he thinks that it's a matter of just being in really good physical condition. So he lets his adult females and his adult males into an exercise room that he's created all the time. And so especially while we still have some of our animals in a rack system, which we're trying to move away from, but it's a very slow process, we take turns with our adult breeders putting them into this large enclosure. And you can see the last snake that was in here did some shedding. But this enclosure is kind of a DIY bioactive. It's not bioactive in the complete sense, but there's live soil, live plants, lots of leaf litter, beetles, springtails, etc. So it helps keep it clean. There's never any mold or anything in here. And the snakes just love it, you know, especially these adults that are like completely docile and used to people. You know, they see us running around and they hear the dogs barking and stuff, but they don't really care. They just explore, and then, you know, when they're tired, they go curl up in some nook and take a nap. So let me just walk you through this enclosure real quick. This is a radiant heat panel from Pro Products. And we've got it set to about 90 degrees on top of that cork tube right there, controlled by a thermostat. This cork tube stays a lot cooler, and then there's a heat lamp right here, and we actually left room for a second heat lamp if we have animals that want higher temperatures, but with the ball pythons we don't do that. So then on top of these sticks, it's even hotter than that, probably around 100 degrees. Not that the ball pythons use that, but down in here is where a lot of the pythons like to hang out. Just at the roots of the plants, and it's probably low 80s right there during the day. And then they sometimes curl up behind the plant back there as well. So yeah, this is a live plant. We've got cork tubes, the whole walls and ceiling, well, not the ceiling, but the walls are all covered in cork. There's multiple water bowls down on the ground. And yeah, so they use this a lot. And you know, the ball pythons that everyone is like, oh, why would you have a ball python? They're just a pet rock. And I realize some people say that, you know, tongue in cheek. Not everyone means it. But it is definitely not true. Turns out, if you're in a little tiny rack and there's nowhere to move, you don't move. But when you're in a large enclosure like this and there's interesting smells and different temperature gradients and live plants and things to climb on, different places to drink water from, they move around a lot, especially at night. But even during the day, I'll catch them just exploring, you know, just chilling. They don't seem like they're hunting or they're certainly not afraid. They're just cruising around. So I really like using this. We leave them in anywhere from 2 or 3 days up to a week, and then we put them back and we get the next adult out and put her in. So until we have all of our animals in larger enclosures, this is something that we're going to continue to do. We also have, you know, big totes that we'll let them swim in. We have a little climbing wall that we get them some exercise on. Something that's low metabolism and slow moving like a ball python. Just handling them is pretty good exercise. But this is just a way for us to kind of passively allow them. It's not just for physical exercise. It gives them some mental stimulation as well. So yeah, anyway, this enclosure is 6 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot. So for a ball python, it's a lot of space. You can see how tiny she looks. If I back up and show the whole thing, if I can get it all in frame. Yeah, so it's not perfect, but for us, it's a good system so that our animals don't all just sit there getting fat and bored all year round. And we don't have a huge number of animals, so they all get their turn every so often. Not as often as I would like, but it's a step in the right direction for us. So yeah, if you've ever thought about it before, having some sort of room or enclosure or something for just some enrichment for your animal, I highly recommend it. I think that it's a cost that is completely worth it if you have a space that it will work. I think it's just so good for the animals physically and mentally. And if you can make it bioactive, even better, because then there's not nearly as much cleanup. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions about this. I'm happy to chat. We're not experts in bioactive by any means. We're not experts in enrichment. We're just learning along with everybody else. And this is one of the things we've found that seems pretty useful. So I'll just close her up now, let her cruise. And here in anywhere from 3 to 7 days, we'll pull her out and put the next one in. But I just wanted to do a whole video on this, since I think I might have done like shorts on it, but I've never done the long form video talking about it. That skin is annoying me. There we go. How's that? Much better. And that cord you see is just for the probe. So I'll go to the back and tighten it up so that she can't get through it. But even if she does, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, we're the Reptile Barn.